So let's go ahead and just do a settling in meditation just to arrive and let go of the day. Getting comfortable, sitting up straight or lying down or walking, whatever's comfortable for you. Just checking your posture, making sure that you're aligned and taking a few deep breaths and bringing your attention inward and exhaling and relaxing. You can gently close your eyes or soften your gaze. And as you feel your body settle, just notice those touch points, your feet on the floor or your seat in the chair. Maybe your back is up against the chair. Wherever you're feeling a contact, noticing that sensation of being supported and arriving here in this group, letting everything else go, putting that outside your door for this hour. This is your time just for you to reestablish yourself. Keeping your belly soft and your shoulders down. Your jaw muscle is relaxed. Allowing yourself to just do a body scan and relax any of those areas that you think may be relaxed, but perhaps there's still some tension and stress. Taking a few deep breaths and again, just exhaling and letting go of the day. And see if your body can feel a bit heavier as you relax just a bit more. And when we begin our first sit, our mind is usually still a little busy from the day. And we can just let those thoughts go. Those thoughts are not going to be beneficial to us in this hour. We can just let those thoughts go, stay with the rhythm of the breath, the natural rhythm as we breathe naturally. Like the ebb and flow on the shoreline. The breath comes and the breath goes. Maybe doing a body scan again, Noticing the difference between when we first began, how we feel now, and if there's any other areas that we notice might be still hanging on, still a little tight. And breathing into those areas and relaxing. And this is a good opportunity to just come back to ourselves. Get reacquainted with ourselves. So many times during the day, we have a face that we put on. We're not quite our authentic self. And we can leave that face in the jar by the door and just return to our authentic self. And as the thoughts do come into our mind, we can just observe them and notice that you're having a thought. We don't need to get caught in the story, but we can name the type of thought, the thinking mind or the planning mind or the judgmental mind, whatever it is, and just come back to our breath and begin again. So staying with your breath for the next few minutes until you hear the bell. So welcome everyone. Glad you could join us tonight. About the last few weeks, been going over the Eightfold Path, and we've actually kind of gone over the whole thing, but I'd like to just do a recap tonight and wrap it up with our right mindfulness and right concentration. In the Four Noble Truths, the first noble truth being that we suffer. We have our wants and desires as part of our human makeup, and we don't always get what we want, so we get disappointed and it makes us suffer. That's the cause of suffering. And then that is the second noble truth, that there is a cause of suffering, and then we can name it, we can identify it. And the third noble truth is that there's a way out of all these habit loops that are not beneficial. And the way out of that is the fourth noble truth, which is to follow the Eightfold Path. So the Eightfold Path is just made up of three trainings. And the first one is the higher wisdom path, which is right view and right understanding, and right thought or right intention. And then the ethical path, which is right speech, right action, and right livelihood. And then the mental discipline, which is what we've been working on the past couple of weeks, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. So just the reason that they're in this order is because in order to develop the wisdom from the first path, the wisdom path, we want to practice the second ethical conduct path, which helps us gain that wisdom. So if we're practicing right speech and right action and right livelihood, we're watching how we talk to people. We're watching how we react to things. What kind of actions are we taking? Which kind of reactions are we having? Um, and then being conscious of those things and making choices on how we can best move forward. What's beneficial? What's not beneficial? What's wholesome and what's unwholesome? And by practicing those things and putting the right intention behind them, we're gaining wisdom about ourselves and how we can choose to be happy every time we come up against something that makes us unhappy. There's a reason for it. Whether it's I'm angry because someone hurt my feelings and I really want to respond to them, but I'm not going to because it's not beneficial. So finding another way around those things that harm us or the things that frustrate us. And once we find our way around that, we find that we're very happy because we're not holding on to resentment, we're not holding on to anger, we're not deluding ourselves to thinking the world is going to go our way, when of course it's not always going to do that. Sometimes it does, but when it doesn't, we tend to get disappointed and sometimes angry. So with the third discipline, which is the mental discipline, the right effort, meaning the practice that we put into it, the effort in this practice, we intentionally and mindfully choose how to move through the world. And when things happen that make us sad or lonely or angry, we tend to feel sorry for ourselves. We tend to get on our side of things and want to defend our side of things. Whereas sometimes if you just look at it as that's just the way it is right now. That's just how it is right in this moment. And can you do anything about it? If you can, great. If you can't, accepting the world as it is probably the easiest way to deal with it. Sometimes things just don't work out. And we can make a change of our plan. Plans don't always work out the way we want them to. So we can change our plan sometimes to fit what's really happening. So that's the right effort. We want to watch our intention behind those things. We want to watch how we're speaking, how we're acting toward ourselves and others. And we want to do all of these things with mindfulness. We want to be mindful of when anger starts to come. We want to be mindful of where we feel that in the body. We want to be mindful of how we want to respond. And after a while, it becomes a habit, just like every other habit we have. Instead of having habit loops that are not benefiting us, we can change all of that to create habit loops that are very beneficial, not just to us, but to the people around us that we interact with. So we wrap all that up with right concentration. And that's a little bit what I wanted to talk about tonight. What is concentration? It's a little harder to explain. When the Buddha taught about right concentration, he was talking about the mental discipline of the effort, being mindful, and the concentration of all of this work together as a whole. So, as we discussed last week, the mental discipline of right effort refers to cultivating what's wholesome and purifying yourself in what's not wholesome. And right mindfulness refers to that mental culture of being fully present, fully aware of your body, the senses, the thoughts, and your surroundings, everything that's going on. And with the development of being fully aware through right mindfulness, that's when we move into right concentration, which is to focus on moving through each moment in a state of continued awareness, which is supported by these other 7 parts of the path. The Pali word for concentration is samadhi, and the root words of samadhi mean to bring together. So we're taking this eightfold path, this 8-step project. We're the project, right? We're working on ourselves, and we're putting that all together as a practice, a daily practice. And hopefully with the right concentration, we become free from the delusion of having a separate self. And we begin to live in a state of freedom from the suffering. And eventually that leads into the 4 jhanas, which prepares us for realizing enlightenment. We're not going to go into the 4 jhanas tonight. That's a big topic. But I do want to give you this quote by Bhikkhu Bodhi. He said, "Samadhi is exclusively wholesome one-pointedness, the concentration in a wholesome state of mind. Even then, its range is still narrower. It does not signify every form of wholesome concentration, but only the intensified concentration that results from a deliberate attempt to raise the mind to a higher, more purified level of awareness." So when he's talking about intensified concentration from a deliberate attempt, that's the effort that we're talking about. That's the effort we're going to put into the work. And, it's so easy to develop habits over our lifetime. We kind of fall into habits for whatever reason. Something happens, we create a habit as a result of it. They're not always the best habits. So if we can concentrate on this effort to practice the ethical conduct with good intention and being aware all the time that we're doing it, we can really create a very happy life. We can really create these habit loops that are benefiting us, that are very beneficial. And the other part of that is people see that we're moving through life without so much reactivity, and they're wondering, how do you do that? I can't tell you how many people have asked me that. How do you not get mad? And I laugh because, of course, I get mad. Ask my husband. I get angry. I lose my temper. But when I do, I catch it and I realize what I'm doing and I intentionally change it so that it's more beneficial. Getting mad at someone isn't going to benefit me or them. But explaining myself or trying to, forgiving them for being human and making their mistake, it's all a practice. So to achieve right concentration, most practitioners will start by creating an appropriate setting, a quiet location in your home, maybe in a corner of a room where you can sit and focus on a word, which is a mantra, or an image, or the breath, or the body. And most of the time, the mindfulness teachers will have us focus on the breath because it's there, it's portable, it's always with us. Some people really anchor in the body really well, more so than the breath. So you find whatever anchors you use that benefit you. For me, it's the breath, following my breath in and out like a wave. It's very soothing. That helps tremendously. But you find what works for you and you practice it. And while breathing naturally and focusing on the chosen object, the mind just wanders, right? That's what brains do. That's what our mind does. It wanders. And then you notice it and you quickly just bring that back. Bring that back to your breath or your body, back to your anchor. And then you let everything else just drop away. So in this, we're training the mind not to jump from thought to thought, like the monkey mind that you hear about in the meditation rooms. It's like a monkey swinging from branch to branch, thought to thought to thought. And when we're doing this, we're training that monkey mind to settle on a branch and stay there. So we're not quite so taken away with our thoughts. And it sounds really simple, and it is, really it is, but it can be difficult for most people because thoughts and images always just come up. So it could take years of consistent practice to overcome the desire and the anger and the agitation or the self-doubt, whatever it is. But even if you meditate 5 minutes a day, you'll see a difference. 20 minutes twice a day is best, but whatever you can squeeze in. I went to my doctor last week and she was having, doctors are so busy. They go from room to room to room and they really don't have time sometimes to do what they want, to talk thoroughly with their patient. And she was having a hard day and I said, just take a 10-second meditation. Just sit with me and just breathe for a few seconds. And she did. She closed her eyes and we took 10 seconds where she just kind of came back to herself. And she was amazed at 10 seconds how much it could just reset her and she could start again. So meditation is really powerful. And whatever your belief system is, whether it's a religious belief system, this just enhances that. If I have a friend who's a Christian and the Buddhist Eightfold path really enhances her beliefs. It calms her down. It really helps her with her prayers and meditation. So this is a great tool, no matter who you are, no matter where you come from and what your background is. It's really helpful. I have another quote here from Joseph Goldstein. He says, one of the most important things to remember is don't judge the quality of your sitting. It's worth doing no matter what it feels like, because you'll sit and your mind will be all over the place. Sometimes you'll sit and it'll be nice and calm and clear. Just keep doing it anyway. So this is why most practitioners join a group or a sangha with a teacher as a guide, because it's really easy to fall back in our habits and have our mind just kind of take us on a ride rather than us controlling our mind. Well, let's do that then. Let's do this meditation. And I'm going to leave some large spaces in between my suggestions. So we'll have a lot of silence, hopefully. So again, we get settled. in a comfortable position, sitting, lying down, walking. And notice how you're holding your body. Are you sitting upright so you'll stay awake? Are you lying in a position where you'll stay awake? And if you're feeling sleepy at all, you can just open your eyes and soften your gaze. But I like to just gently close my eyes and take a few breaths. And as we breathe inward, bringing our attention inward with that breath, is leaving the outside world outside. And as we exhale, releasing any tension in the body, keeping the belly soft and the shoulders down. The arms are heavy at your side or on your lap. Relaxing your shoulders, your neck, your jaw muscle. Letting your face muscles go slack. And staying with the rhythm of your breath for a few moments. Just experiencing the entire breath in as you inhale from the tip of your nose, feeling that air coming into the nostrils. Noticing every part of that in-breath. Where do you feel it? Maybe on the back of your throat. You notice your body expanding as you inhale. And then your body contracts as you exhale. And the air is warmer as you exhale. So we notice the temperature differences. And notice the temperature on your skin. Notice if there's any movement of air. Maybe there's a fan on or windows open. Maybe you can notice that sensation of air moving across your skin. And what do you smell? What scents do you pick up? Maybe there's some flowers or just fresh air. Maybe lingering smells from tonight's dinner. Whatever it is, just noticing if your sense of smell can pick anything up. What kind of sounds might you hear? If you're outside or the window's open, you might hear some birds or traffic or a dog barking. And without any judgment, just notice it. You can name it, recognize it. Just being aware of the sounds and smells, the physical sensations. And now moving your attention into the body sensations. Notice if you feel any tingling or a pulse. Just noticing anything that you feel physically. It could be where you're sitting. You could notice the texture of the cushion you're on, whether that's firm or soft. Now for the next few minutes, just sitting like we have been, noticing what type of thoughts come in, naming the thought, and coming back to your breath or the body, or noticing any of the sensations that I just named. Whenever a thought does come in, just coming back to your breath and body. And where is your mind? Where are your thoughts? Are you staying with your breath and your anchor? Have you got caught up in a story? And if you have, there's no judgment, no criticism, just noticing it, coming back to the breath and the body, whichever anchor works for you, and beginning again. And in these last few minutes, we can say a few words and repeat them to ourselves. May I be happy. May I be well. May I live with ease. May I be happy. May I be well. May I live with ease. And to the people in this group, may you be happy. May you be well. May you live with ease. May you be happy. May you be well. May you live with ease. And sending that intention outward to the world, the planet, all living beings, the bugs, the birds, the soil, the water, the air, all animals. May you be happy. And since we're part of that, may we be happy. May we be well. May we live with ease. May we be happy. May we be well. May we live with ease. So, with this practice, we want to be aware of the thoughts that we're having and just noticing what kind of a thought am I having. Is it beneficial? And if it's not, then we can let that go. If someone makes us angry, we can wish them well. Obviously, they're suffering. They don't want to watch their words or watch how they're saying something. They're suffering. And we can hope that they find their way out of that. We don't need to get involved. We're not responsible for other people's happiness, but we are responsible for treating people with kindness. Right? We don't need to agree to be kind to each other. And I think that's a really good guideline on how to get through the day sometimes when you're having a challenging day. It's not always easy when, especially if something happens and it's upset you, but it's a really good practice anyway to practice kindness, especially when we don't feel like it, because it becomes easier and easier to do when we practice that. You know, I just wanted to sum up one more thing before we wrap it up tonight. This practice is a complement to any practice that you have currently, whatever that is, because I think in the end result, by following these suggestions, we're making our lives easier. We're not fighting against things we have no power over. We're working on acceptance and seeing another person's point of view. And rather than being angry or judgmental, we can be more curious and develop a curiosity so we can bridge gaps and add to our understanding of each other. So watching the thoughts that we have and how we interact with each other, always trying to be kind. And sometimes if we can't, then don't say anything. And sit with the feelings, sit with whatever is happening. And really explore it, find out where it's from. But don't criticize yourself for feeling normal human feelings, because they're not always pleasant, but they are human. So have a wonderful week, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It was lovely seeing you all. I love you all.